All right, numbers 1 through 3, write the first 5 terms of the sequence. So we're going to let n begin with 1, then we're going to plug in 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to be a little more formal on the first term here. So a1 would be 2 to the 1 over 2 to the 1 plus 1. 2 to the 1 is 2, 2 to the 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So our first term is 2/3. So now what I'm going to do is be a little more informal here, and I'm just going to write my first term is 2/3, and then we're just going to talk through plugging in 2. So if I plug in 2 here, 2 squared is 4 over 2 squared is 4 plus 1 is 5. And we can note here that that denominator is going to be the exact same as the numerator, just plus 1. So our next term, if I plug in 3, 2 to the third, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And then as I just said, the denominator is just 1 more than that, 8/9. Plug in 4, 2 to the fourth, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, over, and then we just add 1 to that to get our denominator. And 2 to the fifth, I'll let you verify, is 32, and then we add 1, we get 33 in the denominator. So those would be the 5 terms of that sequence. All right, over here in number 2, again, same thing, plugging in 1, I get a1 equals 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1. So I get 1 over 1 minus 1/2. There's a couple different things you can do here. Because we have an uncommon denominator, you either need to get a common denominator, or we can do cross, cross, cross. So if I cross multiply that first way, it gives me 2. Go the other way gives me 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1 over 1 times 2 is 2. Our second term, this is a little bit tougher to do mentally. So plug in 2 for each of those. I get 1/2 minus 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. And then we'll go cross, cross, across. So cross gives me 3 minus 2 is 1 over 6. A3 is 1 over 3 minus 1 over 3 plus 1 is 4. Cross is 4 minus cross is 3. That's 1 over 12. All right. Now you could at this point begin looking for patterns. So for example, the numerators I see are always going to be 1. The denominators go from 2 to 6 to 12. Nothing's really jumping out maybe as a pattern. You might see something, in which case that's fine. Let's plug in 4. I get 1 over 4 minus 1 over 5. And if we go cross, that's 5 minus 4 is 1 again over 20. I get 1/20. And just saw something here with a pattern of the denominators. 2, it goes up by 4. So from here to here, it's plus 4. From this denominator to this denominator is plus 6. From this one to this one is plus 8. And so I will jump in and say that this is going to be plus 10 in the denominator. So we get 1/30. And you would if you check that out. All right, and then number 3. Plugging in 1, I get -1 to the first power. That's -1 over 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3 factorial. 3 factorial means to multiply 3 by every number less than it down to 1. So 3 times 2 is 6, times 1 is 6. So I get negative 1/6 for that. A2, plug in 2, so negative 1 squared is positive 1 over 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 factorial. We're getting to a point where this is going to be a little bit tough to do just by hand. So on a calculator, you can go 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and you get 120. I'll let you verify on your own that when you plug in 3, we're back to negative 1 over 7 factorial, and that comes out to be 5,040. A4 would be 1 over 9 factorial, which is 362,800. And the fifth term is negative 1 over 39,916,800. That's 11 factorial. All right, I'm going to stop this video here, and then we'll pick up with numbers 4 through 6 in the next one.